Yo, what's up, everybody? This is
Gosh TV.
welcome, welcome. Title of this episode: Evil is winning. There's a lot of shady shit going on this planet, and yet they shove Ukraine down your throat. A president who's always on camera, the Ukrainian president, that is, when his country is at war. So they get you to feel sympathy for that country, but your attention is on that country. They're just a pawn in this big ass game of Monopoly. World reality Monopoly. To start this episode off, I'm going to talk about Nancy Pelosi. Actually, I'll just play the video. This is where we're at in 2022.
But we cannot allow the fossil fuel industry to use this as an excuse to reverse everything we're doing to save the planet. One of the things I think that the president may say, I don't have this as a fact, is that we will use the Defense Production Act to speed up diversification so that we're not so dependent.
She has no fucking clue, or actually, she does have a clue in what she's saying. Her objective is to deceive you. These politicians play it well. But she mentioned Joe Biden and his plan. Here's his plan.
Under my plan, which is before the Congress now, we can take advantage of the next generation of electric vehicles that a typical driver will save about $80 a month from not having to pay gas at the pump. If your home is powered by, under my plan,
Buy an electric car and you'll save $80 a month. Let's look at another Joe Biden plan. This is how evil it gets. Biden administration promotes transgender sex change surgery, puberty blockers for minors. This is real. This is really happening. This is the evil that I say is winning. And a lot of you are allowing this to happen. A lot of you are complacent with Joe Biden, just as long as he's not big, bad, scary Trump. You'll put your children in harm's way just as long as big, bad, scary Trump is not in office.
Is this something that she has experience in? Just this kind of life-saving care for younger people?
Yeah, so this is Dr. Buban Langner. Her specialty is gender affirming procedures. So she does top surgery and bottom surgery for adolescents as well as for adult patients.
Oh, thank goodness.
This is her specialty. Yeah, so she, one of the reasons why her schedule is booked out so far is because we have so many people that are referred to her specifically.
Yeah, so that's the same with us. Could you, okay, so this is something that my son, does she also deal with hormones, or is she just on the surgical side of things?
She's a plastic surgeon, so she only does the surgery for like hormone therapy, like a hormone therapy regimen. Unfortunately, our office doesn't have anything like that.
Oh, I understand. And is 13 going to be, is my child's age going to be a problem?
No. Dr. Buban, like I mentioned, she does see adolescent patients, so she sees patients under the age of 18.
Okay, thank goodness. All right, well, if you don't mind, let me speak to my husband and we'll try to come up with a decision December's awfully far.
That's terrifying. Children as young as 13, that doctor operates on, mutilates their genitalia. When that child has not fully does not have a fully developed brain. One day that child can like boys, the next day that child can like girls. Children are finding out who they are at that age. They have no fucking idea. And if they are gay, they're gay. It is what it is. But a child should not be mutilated in that fashion. Surgeries that are irreversible. And you have doctors already operating, as this lady said right there. It's a disgrace. It's disgusting. The country that we live in, they will destroy it so you can obey and comply. Video, Maxine Waters tells homeless voucher seekers to go home. Remember during election, she was running against that black man? I kept telling people, vote for that dude, vote for that guy. She owns a $3-point-something million mansion in LA in the district that is surrounded by poor people. I want to say the average black family, because she's a black woman, so I'm going to bring up being black. The average black family in Compton, her district, the money they make is about $11,000 a year. And she's sitting on the outskirts in her $3 million mansion. But they are starting to recognize. They are starting to see. They're starting to smell the bullshit coming from Auntie Maxine. I'm going to play a video. And I want you to applaud in your mind or physically. Applaud these people because they've had enough. They've had enough of the shenanigans from Auntie Maxine. But listen to how callous she is. Just go home. Nothing's going to happen today. Just listen to her.
Wilson. Another location where they're taking abs. Is there any more locations than this one?
No, it might have been just so many people out here.
1 minute. I want everybody to go home. And I want we don't got no home. Okay.
Look at that look. That's a look of, oh, fuck, I just fucked up. But it doesn't stop there because she's an elitist. And she wants you to go home to a home you do not have.
That's why we here. Miss McKinney, yeah. Miss Waters, where home we gonna go to? Yeah. Just a moment. Just a moment. Nothing is going to happen here today. Nothing is going to happen anymore today.
What about all these names?
What we're gonna that's what give
Can you leave?
excuse me. Can you leave? That's why I'm here. And so I will be downtown with Lassa. I will get the housing authority. That's why they came out here today. I made them come out here.
Mm-hmm.
And
right.
I'm gonna go.
And you need to know why they're failing, because Blanca Jimenez repeated, we gave her several meeting requests for you concerning this in Lassa for years.
And now they're sitting here. There's nobody in Washington who works for their people in a harder than I do.
I believe.
Desperation. Remember, she said on the campaign trail, she's going to keep you in those ghettos. Matter of fact, she's going to build more. There's no one in Washington that works harder than Auntie Maxine at keeping you poor. She said it herself. Do you recognize it? Do you understand it? Are you fed up with it? This is where we're at. The elitist attitudes of these people. But this shit doesn't stop. Now they're trying to go after your crypto. I told you guys this was going to happen. I told you guys banks were going to be issuing crypto soon. I told you guys. Oh, this on the screen. I want you to watch this video. Watch this video and then we'll get to it. This is scary. This is terrifying. they're going to put robots in your body to fix your ailments. They are going to put robots in your fucking body in the name of medical science. This is the shit out of sci-fi movies itself. And it's happening. It's fucking happening. They tell us what it is. Are you listening? Do you even care? Or are you still talking about Will Smith getting slapping the fuck out of Chris Rock? This guy, JMV, folks, listen up. They are telling us in plain language what they mean. Believe what they say. I've said that before. Believe these motherfuckers when they tell you something. But I want you to listen. COVID-19, the Great Reset. This is Yuval Noah Harari. He's the lead advisor to Klaus Schwab. Klaus Schwab is the author of COVID-19, the Great Reset. Klaus Schwab is the founder of the World Economic Forum, which is the organization implementing the worldwide Great Reset. I've told you this is happening. I've told you, and it's happening. It's not just happening with the currency, with the financial system. They're trying to put fucking robots in your body. Listen to this. Listen to this man. Believe him.
And COVID is critical because this is what convinces people to accept, to legitimize total biometric surveillance. If we want to stop this epidemic, we need not just to monitor people, we need to monitor what's happening under their skin.
Wow. COVID brought this out. Because of COVID, we need more surveillance. Us, the people of the world, not the elite. They need to watch us even more. They need to watch us to the point of where they're putting fucking robots in our bodies. So all those people that were going around saying that the vaccine, was chipped and all that shit, now I'm starting to fucking kind of believe it. At first I didn't. But when you got people like this talking about we need to get under the skin, whoa.
What we have seen so far, it's corporations and governments collecting data about where we go, who we meet, what movies we watch. The next phase is the surveillance going under our skin.
Sounds like he's saying the same shit. And it also sounds like he's admitting to Big Brother watching your every fucking move.
We now see mass surveillance systems established even in democratic countries, which previously rejected them. And we also see a change in the nature of surveillance.
He's saying mass surveillance in democratic countries who originally rejected this shit. It's here. This new world is here. It's fucking happening. We're too late to fucking change anything. Honestly. But will you turn this into a profit for yourself, for your family? Or do you still don't care? Or are you a non-believer? All this is too crazy to be real. They're telling you. I'm showing you. But I guarantee if you're a non-believer, you'll continue to be a non-believer. Doesn't matter. Joe Biden can say he shot 5 people in the fucking kneecaps and you would just laugh. Oh, that's just Uncle Joe. This is where we're at. 2022. This shit is scary. Just imagine what our kids have to go through. Just imagine what our grandkids are going to have to go through. Remember, civilians, we're 60 fucking years behind our government and technology. And they boast about that. But this is what I mean. Are you going to cash in with this great reset? Routers. why it's time to pay more attention to cryptocurrencies. Let's listen to a little bit.
Hello and welcome to Sectors Up Close. I'm Elena Casas. Our focus today is on cryptocurrencies and our guest is Phil Palumbo, Chief Investment Officer at Palumbo Wealth Management. Russia's invasion of Ukraine has reignited the debate over cryptocurrencies such as Bitcoin. The world's most popular digital currency is hovering around its highs for the year. After a volatile start to 2022, it surged by about 25% since the invasion began. Compare that to the performance of this safe haven asset, gold, which spiked just after the invasion, but has now come back down and is mostly unchanged since late February, although it outperformed Bitcoin. BlackRock CEO Larry Fink said last week the Russia-Ukraine war could accelerate digital currencies as a tool to settle international transactions, and market players have cited signs of a new
International transactions. I want you to remember that. This is why I say you might be able to fucking cash in during this whole great reset. You might be one of the chosen people on this fucking planet that could actually execute generational wealth. With every tragedy, with every depression, recession, millionaires and billionaires, a new elite class has been made because they were willing to take the risk. But then you got people like Senator Warren. The only risk she wants you to take is the government risk, the risk the government themselves give you. And that's the CBDC, central bank digital currency. She wants the citizens to have a direct line to the Federal Reserve and have the government be the watchdogs on how they spend their money. This is the surveillance that last gentleman was talking about. This is the surveillance that once upon a time America didn't tolerate. But here we are, tolerating it. Let me ask you something. With these CBDCs that are traceable, trackable, and they will be watching it, your every move, will the elite have this currency? Or will they continue with the paper currency? Or will they have a private CBDC currency? An untraceable, untrackable CBDC that's private for them. Because off of the national interest, it's better known or better unknown of what they purchase. So you can't track the elite. Listen to what she says. Listen to how happy she is when CBD is brought up. And listen how she's trying to change her mind about Bitcoin.
Is what do you think Bitcoin is about? If you think it's about being able to transfer value without having to go through banks, and little side note, I think banks have done a really bad job of a lot of the things they're called on to do.
Yeah,
Why?
the biggest advocates of Bitcoin sound like you.
Yeah.
Right? Meaning they want to.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm on the side of them, even though I'm about to fucking rake them over the head. Yeah.
Right.
Look, the breakup these big banks have been terrible. Right.
That's exactly right. And they've cheated consumers and they've kept prices high and they're slow and they won't cash a check, for days on end.
Please, the first thing I ever worked on was getting them down from 5. I actually worked on a campaign from 5 to 7 days to 3 to 5 days.
There you go.
And it was a huge victory.
A huge victory, right? That they only held on to your money for 5 to 7 days.
Well, it used to be,
crazy.
right? That was legal for them. It took forever to have a check cleared when I was a kid,
So a lot that banks do wrong, if you think we could improve that in a digital world, the answer is sure you could.
They just shitted on banks. And now, here's the old Hegelian dialect. Bad bank, bad bank. Banks are horrible. Banks' checks don't clear without a week worth of waiting. But we have the solution. This is the hurrah moment. Hurrah, hurrah.
But in that case, let's do a central bank digital currency.
Are you there?
Oh, for a central bank digital currency? Yeah. Yes. I think it's time for us to
So
move
essentially, because we're...
Oh! Yeah. Oh! Yeah. I think we're there. Oh. Bobblehead bitch. I don't give a fuck. I called her out her name. She's a heathen. Leading you to the hellfire. Leading to your destruction. If you vote for her, God bless you. God bless you. You see, CBDCs aren't anything new. I've told you over and over about this. This is the currency that they prefer you to have. Matter of fact, this is the currency. This is the currency that you will have. You will have this currency. You will have no Bitcoin. You will have no Ethereum. Over there in Europe, they are pretty much surveilling cold storage wallets, ledgers. That's just coming over here to America. I'm letting you know that right fucking now. They will know exactly how much you have, if you sold, if you traded. And they'll be waiting for you to sell when they tell you to sell. When they drop that executive order that you will sell, they'll be waiting there with their CBDC for you. And you'll be happy. You'll make a profit. You'll put your trust in the government, and everything will be fine. But listen to these characters. This is nothing new. This isn't something that just happened overnight. It might feel like it because you're not paying attention, but this is nothing new. They have this whole thing planned out.
Say Libra was something of lit a bit of a fire. This is something we've been focused on digital currencies for a couple decades.
They've been focused on digital currencies for at least a couple decades. This was in 2020 when he said that, 2 years ago.
Digital currencies for a couple decades. This is something we've been focused on digital currencies for a couple decades.
Point about this break between the U.S. and China, and said, both sides.
This just happened. You see the 2022 right there. Listen to her. This is how advanced they are. But you still might be able to make you a little fortune if you bear down now and got you a piece.
Are going to say, whose team are you on? And he said, our job is to make sure the question never arises. But the question has arisen. And so I think we have to go deeper. And it's not about the US versus China. It's about what underpins a world order is always the financial system. I was very privileged. My father was an advisor to Nixon when they came off the gold standard in '71. And
she was very privileged. No, she's an elitist. These people in the audience, they're either elitists or they're elitists in training, or they have some type of connection. Me and you are not in that audience. Me and you did not know what day this was going to happen. Me and you are watching a rebroadcast.
And so I was brought up with a kind of inside view of how very important the financial structure is to absolutely everything else. And what we're seeing in the world today, I think, is we're on the brink of a dramatic change where we are about to, and I'll say this boldly, we're about to abandon the traditional system of money and accounting and introduce a new one.
They're about to abandon the old financial system. I've been warning you. I think this shit's going to happen this year. They're being more vocal about it. The cat's out of the bag now. So now if you don't have $1 million to invest, there's no way you're going to make generational wealth to them. This is what they feel like. So they can talk about it openly and freely now. You see, when certain cryptos were 50 cents, when Bitcoin was at $5, they didn't promote this shit. Matter of fact, they downed it to the point of where the average retail investor wanted no part of it. We didn't think it had a chance to survive. And look at it now. This is what they do. The old Hegelian dialect.
And the new one, the new accounting, is what we call blockchain. It means digital. It means having a almost perfect record of every single transaction that happens in the economy, which will give us far greater clarity over what's going on. It also raises huge dangers.
Listen, They're very aware that the general public will not like this CBDC. Listen to them.
In terms of the balance of power between states and citizens, in my opinion, we're going to need a digital constitution of human rights if we're going to have digital money. But also, this new money will be sovereign in nature. Most people think that digital money is crypto and private, but what I see are superpowers introducing digital currency. The Chinese were the first. The US is on the brink, I think, of moving in the same direction. The Europeans have committed to that as well. And the question is, will that new system of digital money and digital accounting accommodate the competing needs of the citizens of all these locations so that every human being has a chance to have a better life?
In their mind, the better life is a government-funded life. These stimulus checks that we've been given, these airdrop, this free money that just comes out of nowhere, those were test pilots. So the government, they're not just going to give you something. I don't give a fuck what you say. I don't give a fuck what type of crisis we're in. They're not just going to give you anything for free. This money, this paper money, came out of thin fucking air right off the presses. We don't have the money to be giving us trillions and trillions of dollars. Most of us will grab that CBDC and we'll love the master for giving us free money. Let's look at the world. Let's look at how the world is, the governments are doing with their CBDCs. If it pops up. Okay, there it is. There we go. Look at that. Launch, pilot, development, research, and active, canceled. Most of your world is getting ready for CBDC. We will be under the thumb of the government, the world government. You remember what she just said. There has to be a world whatever for money for the citizens. You have to understand. Oh, a constitution. Is that what she said? A world constitution over money. The peasants need to understand their place. As far as saving, as far as investing, as far as climbing up in the world, if you have no God-given talent, you will forever be poor. I believe India, they already have the social class. For families poor, you'll be poor. Families rich, you'll be rich. See, I think this is what Putin is setting the stage for. This is what this whole Ukraine thing's about. Leveling the playing field, as they say. You see, Putin gave a warning to unfriendly countries that they will pay him in Russian ruble for his oil and whatnot. Let's hear him talk about it.
Сегодня мною подписан указ, который устанавливает правила торговли российским природным газом с так называемыми недружественными государствами. Мы предлагаем контрагентам из таких стран понятную и прозрачную схему. Чтобы приобрести российский природный газ, они должны открыть рублевые счета в российских банках.
He's telling them if they want Russian natural resources, they will open Russian fucking accounts.
Именно с этих счетов будет вестись оплата газа, поставленного начиная с завтрашнего дня.
That was yesterday. April 1st was yesterday. So I wonder what's happening under it all. What's happening that they're not telling us? Now, I've told you that trade with world entities, different countries, will be a one-for-one basis. How that becomes a one-for-one basis, this is, see, it's the how it becomes a one-for-one basis is how people will be achieving wealth. If you pick the right digital asset, I don't know what the fuck that is. I'm just throwing my money out there. Hopefully it's the fucking right one. But if you pick that right digital asset, that's kind of like the median for a ruble and a US dollar, you're going to come out very, very good in this. You're going to come out very wealthy. Putin knows this. He's trying to get his ruble up to par before this shift happens. You see, he wants to be as close to a 1-for-1 with that US dollar or with the euro as he can get. Don't listen to Joe Biden say the goddamn ruble is done and over. It's not. It's actually gained a little bit of ground from what it was pre-invasion. His tactics are working. Don't let these motherfuckers fool you. Russia, Lavrov, how you say it? Lavrov. A new reality is taking shape. Listen to him. Listen to him. Since you guys are just going to call me a conspiracy theorist, listen to these world leaders and what they have to say about this.
Формируется новая реальность, когда однополярный мир безвозвратно уходит в прошлое, и когда складывается многополярная реальность. Это объективный процесс, его невозможно остановить. Реальность...
This is an objective process that cannot be stopped. There won't be one single ruler in this new reality. Russia's putting their Mac down. China is as well. It's all happening behind the scenes. Don't let them tell you that the Ukrainian army is bulldozing Russian military. It's not happening. It would never happen. When you read an article on Putin saying everything is going according to plan, believe him. Believe what these world leaders tell you. See, this Ukrainian president, he's a puppet. He was already an actor. He can cry on cue. Like I said, for a man in war, he's on TV way too fucking much.
В которой будет не одна держава править, а в которой необходимо договариваться между всеми ключевыми государствами, которые сегодня имеют решающее влияние на мировую экономику, на мировую политику, и которые при этом, осознавая свое особое положение, обеспечивают базовые принципы Устава ООН, которые начинаются с основополагающего принципа суверенное равенство государств.
Nobody on earth will be considered a second-rate player. 1-for-1, equal playing field.
Никто на этой земле не должен рассматриваться как второстепенный игрок. Все равны и все суверенны.
And he says that all nations are equal and sovereign. You see, like I've told you, there is a digital asset out there, or there might be multiple, that will be the world reserve currency. It will no longer be the US dollar, but I'm starting to think it won't be the yuan either, or the ruble, or the euro. I think technology is going to be the world reserve currency, and nobody will be able to own it. This is how they're going to take it from you, me. It cannot be owned. It has to flourish. But hopefully, and what I really feel is, they will be paying people out generously, early investors who've seen this coming. And I thank you for joining me today. I know I get a little deep into this, but I want you guys to just think outside the box. Don't think what the news tells you to think. Don't feel how they tell you to feel. They are the puppet master. I want you to be the master of your own destiny. All right, everyone. Hit that like button, subscribe, and I will catch you later. Catch you on Tuesday. Oh, yeah, by the way, Rock Chuck Jayhawks. Championship bound. Catch you Tuesday.